chapel all the way in the back. Do you know who that is? He's sitting by himself. Oh, he can't see us. He's sitting by himself. Is he a member? Is he his regular? Huh? Yes, sir. Huh? Okay. I've been instructed to go and introduce myself.
Must start on time. We are late. Ready? מודה אני לפניך, מלך חי וקיים, שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, בחמלה רבה אמונתך. מודה אני לפניך, מלך חי וקיים, שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, בחמלה רבה אמונתך. רבה אמונתך.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hello.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so nice to be with you on this nice Shabbat morning. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for
in your neighborhood.
Yeah. I love that you have this much energy because it's the beginning of the year. We have this beautiful service this morning. We have 2 B'nai Mitzvah today, and I appreciate that you have energy because we'll see how you are at around 1:40 or so. I want to see where you're at around 1:40 or so.
You know when you play a record backwards?
Yeah. I actually don't know, but I was going to make that sound just in case.
Is that because you don't know what a record is?
Yeah, oh, I love records. Are you kidding? I love records.
No, what's a record?
Yeah.
Careful.
For the record. Yes, I have taken no voices. The beauty that comes out when I sing
is all natural.
It's all natural. There's no training whatsoever, as you can tell.
Purely organic.
Purely organic. I'm not bad. Well, yeah. No one runs in the room screaming.
No preservatives added. No.
Exactly.
No pesticides.
Exactly.
No talent.
Exactly.
It's all organic.
At one time, just with you in the room,
in band
Susie,
camp.
and there was no one else here. Yeah. Yeah. How about that? How about that?
It's all my fault. This is why we run late.
Yeah, it's not because of me talking.
Fault.
It's not. Yeah, this is why. Yeah, this moment is why we run late right here. Particularly because we're in a kind of a little bit of a rush today, since we have 2 B'nai Mitzvah, and yet we're still filling the space. Thank you, by the way, for joining us on the live stream and in person at 8:30 this morning. I know it is not everyone's favorite time. We are discussing the eventual possible change back to 9 o'clock. We're going to try and do it. The earliest possibility would be just after the high holidays. So we're going to attempt that to see how the schedule works. If it works, then we will be able to go to the 9s if we get the rhythm. If not, the next change will be in 3 or 4 years. So it's going to be great. So.
No.
9:30 is definitely not consideration. Definitely not. The other consideration, by the way, which is something that we can always talk about, is that this space becomes Torah study only, and there's no service, and then those who want to join us for the service can join us for a service at 10 a.m. So that's something that we can alwaalways think about, not right now, but that's something that we can talk about. We've talked about it before to say that this hour would be strictly Torah study, and then there's always, because there's going to be a service no matter what. Either this will be the service, or there'll be a service immediately following. So this time period will either be a study and a service, or when there's a B'nai Mitzvah, this space can be a Torah study, and then you can join us afterwards. So there'll be Torah reading no matter what, because you'd either be in this service and have a Torah reading, or we'd be in that service and there'll be a Torah reading. So there'd be Torah reading, there'd be a full morning service no matter what. So that's something just to think about for our timing. We discussed it before, but this was pre-pandemic we discussed it. So there's been a big window of stuff. And this conversation we're having right now is taking time away from our service. So we're going to continue.
Time anxiety. That's true.
Well, we're not going to take away the time. We're just going to decide that maybe there's no service that we're going to do in this window, just a Torah study. But that's something we'll discuss on a day when we're not in a bit of a rush, which we've already taken up 7 minutes of our time. So we're going to continue with our Nisim B'chol Yom, our daily blessings and miracles, on page 175.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan nasach v'vina le'avchin ben yom u'ben laila.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin metzadei gaver.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam al bisharumi.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layayef koach.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir shena me'enai utnuma me'afapai.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben chorim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Israel.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozei Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Israel b'tifara.
Amen.
We continue now as we transition from Shacharit. What's that? Yeah, that was very fast. That's very fast. We're going to transition from Shacharit slowly now into the crux of our morning service. We continue Chatzi Kaddish 194.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
והולמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותה.
וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו
אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך.
לעולם לא מהמיה יתברך,
יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרום המתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה
בריחו
לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה.
תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה. Amen. We stand for the Baruch Hu 195.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or boreh choshech oseh shalom uboreh et hakol. We continue on 199. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava. 200.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בצל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Continue with our song of redemption, Michamocha, on page 204.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופתח ירמך, יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Continue with the Amidah, 205.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el ha'gadol ha'hibor v'hanora, El Elyon gomel chasadim tovim, v'koneh ha'kol, v'zocher chaste avot ve'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך. ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Kedusha, page 208.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון. דור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל HaKadosh.
We take time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, and meditations, beginning here on page 210 through page 219. And when you are finished, please be seated.
liratzon, yiyu liratzon, imre fi, ve'egyon libi lefanecha. Yiyu liratzon, yiyu liratzon, imre fi, ve'egyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, vegoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer, Adonai tzuri, vegoali. Yiyu liratzon, yiyu liratzon, imre fi, ve'egyon libi lefanecha.
We continue now with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for reading the Torah, which can be found on page 244.
Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai, vein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'hador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai himloch le'olam ha'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Avarachamim heitiva v'tzoncha et Zion. Timneh chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'chon levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa, Adon olamim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, b'hidushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad, echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlul Adonai Iti Nerom Shemo Yachdav.
Please be seated. Baby steps, ark opening. We're starting. We're starting back. It's good. It's nice. Keter Mashik's going to be chanting Torah. There it is, the sound of the ancient Velcro. We're in the Torah portion of Re'eh. I think he's going to be chanting from the beginning of Re'eh. So that is in the book of Deuteronomy, and it is chapter 11:26. 11:26 is where you're going in Deuteronomy. 11:26. What? No such luck. I'm never going to give you the page number. No. And Harry's not here, so that's good. He can't tell us the page number, which is good. So, thanks, Ron. So, yes. So, 11:26. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26 is where Kentra Muchnick is going to start chanting. Is that right, Kentra Muchnick?
That is correct.
That is correct. No problem. Anyone up for the Aliyah this morning? Okay. Great, I love that. Okay, a little combo. Ya'amdu Leah bat Reuven v'Gittel veYaakov ben Tzvi Hirsch la Torah. On page 250 in your Siddur, if you'd like. That's where the blessings are for the Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai haborach.
Baruch Adonai borach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai haborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Re'eh Anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala et habracha asher tishmeu el mitzvot Adonai Elohechem asher Anochi mitzavetchem hayom ve'haklala im lo tishmeu el mitzvot Adonai Elohechem v'sartem min haderech asher Anochi mitzavetchem hayom lalechet acharei Elohim acherim asher lo yadatem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Happy anniversary. Thanks for coming to celebrate with us. That's fun. That's awesome. That's so nice. We are going to just go a little out of order since we did the Torah and then we're going to study. So since we're going to put the Torah away, we're going to put the Torah away. So not officially into the ark, but we're going to stand and close the Torah. So we continue on page 252. 252. You got it? You have your Wheaties this morning? All right, so 200, you don't have breakfast. So 252 for V'zot HaTorah. V'zot HaTorah Hashem Lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. It's good. You did have your Wheaties. You did have your Wheaties. Please be seated.
Hey, thanks for taking your time for you
Okay, we are going to do a little study together on said portion of Re'eh. We are not going to be looking at the same section though. So we're going to be, is it on the owl? Let's hope so. All right, well, hopefully it'll just automatically connect to the owl. There we go. There's the owl. There we go. All right, good. Woo, woo. That was just me. Okay, we are, let's do our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshana b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We will be looking mostly at chapter 14. So still in Dvarim, obviously, Deuteronomy. We'll be looking at chapter 14. We'll start at 14:1. Yeah, that's probably we'll start at 14:1. Or my goal is to get us we're going to probably go between 14:1 and 14:21. That's probably going to be the little window that we look at if we make it on time. Everyone there? One of us will be on time. Well, we have time now. Yeah, that's good. Be good. Torah study is only going to take another hour and a half. It'll be fine. Oh, wait. It's not going to work. All right, good. Everyone there? 14:1? I still hear some page turning, so I want to give everyone one more second. 14:1. All right. Please, take it away for us.
You are children of the eternal God. You shall not gash yourselves or shave the front of your heads because of the dead. For you are a people consecrated to the eternal your God. The eternal your God chose you from among all other peoples on earth to be a treasured people.
Okay, so what's this so far? What do we got? Where are we? What's going on? Just let's get a little context. What's happening? Yes, Moses' 37-day speech. We're in the book of Deuteronomy. We're very close to the land. Very good. Right. So this is one, not the first time, but another point in which more traditional people you might see that don't trim the sides of their the sides of their hair, right? Because it says you shall not gash. You should not gash yourselves or shave the front of your head. So that's one of the possible connections to not having peot. Nice, good. Yes. Yes, there is this beautiful phrase here that says that God has chosen you from among other people on earth to be God's treasured people. And there's this beautiful word for it. It's called Am Segula. Such a beautiful word. So what does Segol mean anyway? Anyone know what Segol means? There's a hint on Rabbi Khan is Segol. She's Segol today. She's Segol. Purple, also glittery. She's always glittery. Rabbi Khan is always glittery, but Segol means purple. But it doesn't mean necessarily purple when it comes to this. So what's skula? It's like a beautiful concept. There's this treasuredness, this like treasuredness, it's not even a word, but this treasuredness concept that it's kind of undefinable what segula means. It's sort of precious and separate and different and holy and sacred. One can even engage in something called a segula. Like you can actually engage in it. Some people can enhance certain parts of what they're doing. It's a tradition to sometimes it's called to do a segula. That is on Shabbat. If you're maybe a little more traditional, because there's nothing in your pockets, right, when you're walking around, because there are no keys, there is no money, because you're not carrying anything. That sometimes after Kiddush, you take a little bit of the wine, and you actually open up your pockets, and on the corner tips of the inside of your pocket, you put a little bit of the wine there, and you can put some behind your ears even and your toes, and it's almost to like engulf you in this segula, like in this special sacred moment. And it all really comes from this phrase, which is not the first time we're hearing it. But is it the first time we're hearing it? I don't think it's the first time we're hearing it. What's that? You use as to letter. As do I. No, that's not true. And it's supposed to be like, why your pockets and why your ears and why your feet. It's supposed to sort of remind you in your what you're hearing and where you're walking, like what your path is, and why your pockets, so that you realize that even if you have money, where does that come from? And you should appreciate that. There's this idea of being treasured, right? That because we're the chosen people, we also are required to engage in that beautiful connection of engaging in a skula. So, or what is an am skula? Yeah. Yes. Everyone has a little problem with chosenness. It's double-edged sword. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, because chosen people is like, yay, we're chosen. Also gives opportunities for other people to be like, well, how come you're better than than we are, right? But also there's the other idea of chosen as in right? That this goes back to Tevye, right? What's Tevye's sentence? Yeah, choose someone else, right? Exactly. Once in a while, pick someone else. Thank you for making us chosen, but I'm exhausted. So that's the flip of the chosenness that we can play off of. Yeah. There's no English word, I don't think, for skula. I think treasured is the best that it's going to get. By the way, how nice that we're called an am skula. What's an am? A nation. So look what the progress we've made. We've made progress because we were not an am. We were a bunch of straggly slaves who left Egypt, who were a little bit lost, who made mistakes, who, by the way, will continue to make mistakes. But now look at this nice phrase, this beautiful phrase that's given to us, that we've transcended a little bit, that we've grown a little bit, and now we're this. It is. It's almost even past B'nai Israel, that we're this Am Skula, this treasured nation of people. It's this beautiful concept, this beautiful idea. All right, so we have that. We also have the sort of gashes in the skin, which we're not going to talk about now, but that could lead down the path of the conversation about earrings and tattoos and all these other things if we wanted to, whether we can do it or not. Some other time we can have that conversation. By the way, we have discussed amongst our clergy that we might have a class about that, about have a class just to talk about what's the Jewish views on tattoos, the Jewish views on piercings, the Jewish views on sort of modernity, and because we've discussed that many of our friends and colleagues have tattoos and can clearly, and Jewish ones, and why they're relevant for them and why they actually find them to be significant and important, and then why people have piercings and stuff like that. So this might come from this spot here. It's a good source for it, possibility also, but it might be in a future course. We discussed it actually the other day. So we might have an interesting chat about it. Okay. Let's keep going. We're on 3.
You shall not eat anything abhorrent. These are the animals that you may eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, the mountain sheep, and any other animal that has true hoofs, which are cleft in two and brings up the cud. Such you may eat.
Okay. So, yay. What can we eat? These things? Anyone shocked by any of them? Yes, which one are you shocked by? Well, no, I mean, you know that we can eat a goat, right? We can eat sheep. Those are all kosher animals. The deer is my favorite, by the brook. The cute little deer by the brook, just takes a little sip of water, and then, and then your little Bambi like prancing along, and then we eat it. That's such a great image, I think, of this. Yeah. That was for you. Yeah. So, hey, that was good. I was waiting for someone besides Muchnick to get it, but thank you. I was doing a little bit of a reference to my cousin Vinny, who was like, did you care what the guy was wearing? Yeah, so boom. Anyway, all right. So, great. So, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, also beautiful antelope, like running along beautifully by the stream. Also, you can eat it. Great. What's that? Yeah, oh, the ruminants. Good. Yeah, they're very, very nice with the good fancy word before 10 o'clock. That's very good. And then it just opens up the whole category at the end of the statement there, right? Or, I mean, those are some examples, which, by the way, come on. The Torah is giving you examples of the animals. It's pretty impressive for the Torah, because it could just say, right? It could just say, and animals that have true hoofs, which are cleft and chew and brings up its cut. It could just say that. But why does the Torah, like, quote, waste the ink? It gives us detail. It's pretty impressive. Because why these animals, probably? Why these particular animals? That they were available, exactly. Because if you can imagine, if you've been to, by the way, one of my favorite bottles of water that you can buy in Israel, bottled water, has a picture of an ibex on it, and people don't even know what an ibex is, but the ibex is from the Torah portion. So right? So or the antelope. These are the things that were around, and so it made sense to tell the Israelites. Because what is a cleft foot, and I don't know what that is, and they're like, oh no, here, listen, it's like an ibex. Oh, good, we can eat ibex, right? So it sort of makes sense. It was a brilliant way, I think, God clearly, right, and in this concept to introduce this idea of not eating the abhorrent things that we're not allowed to eat. It was brilliant on the part of the text. Okay, please keep going. Well, there it goes. There go the bacon cheeseburgers. All done. There it goes. Wah, wah. Just a bacon burger so far, right. Yes. Aha. Interesting. No explanation of why. Well, I mean, it says that they're unclean, right? It says that they don't, well, that's true. It doesn't actually say why they're unclean. It just says that because they don't fit the category of the cud and the hoof, because it has to hit two categories. You can't, it's unkosher. It has to hit both. So why is that? Yes? Yeah? Yeah? Right, so that's the explanation of why we can't eat the swine, right? Because it's also in their nature to continue to go back into their dung. Thank you for the nice terminology, right? And that it's their nature, even if one might take them out of that situation, because then you can say, like, let's put them into a place where they can't do that. Let's put them into, like, let's create a pathway on some kind of way that they're not going to do that, and then I can finally eat. That crispy bacon that we've been thinking about for all these years. So, right, but it's in their nature is their problem. That even if we found a way to keep them out of their own dung, it would be in their nature. If we let them go, they would go and back and do that, and that's the problem with the swine. Yes. Yes.
The concept of separateness, that we were told not to practice any Canaanite practices.
Mm-hmm.
How I read it. Well, what better way to keep people separate than not allowing them to share meals?
Yeah.
And the pig was a very popular, very succulent meat. So when you have to follow dietary laws, your ability to break bread, so to speak, with your neighbors is
Yeah.
diminished.
Yeah. So first of all, great statement about this, about the separateness idea of this and the inability to be able to sit down with someone, which, by the way, fast forward to 2022, same situation. So we still have the inability to sit down with our neighbors and break bread. Still. Because if you eat kosher and only kosher food, we can't go to the same restaurant unless we all decide to go to the kosher restaurant. Because it's, by the way, the same exact situation that we're reading in this book right here is the same situation that's translated for us in 2022. We still can't break bread unless everyone decides to go the kosher way, which not everyone wants to do. So, right, if you wanted to go have a meal with your Orthodox neighbors, you can't be like, well, come over to my house, or let's go to Denny's, right? They're not going to do that because they're not going to sit down with you and have any of the food at Denny's. They're not going to probably have any food in your house unless you're strictly kosher in your house, and they know that. And you keep Shabbat, and you blah 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 blah, like all these check marks. So if we had some more time today, we would discuss the well, I guess we can right now actually, the development, the sort of, because kashrut all comes from this one little section, right? So all of kashrut comes from these 21 verses, all of it, all the dishes, all of the utensils, all of the time between meals, all the cheeseburger eventually, all of these things, all of it comes from these 21 verses, everything. How is that possible, though? Because it doesn't say anything about that here. It doesn't say anything about, it doesn't say anything about separating. It eventually we do, right? And we have 2 sets of dishes, and we have 3 sets of dishes, or 4 sets of dishes, because you have to have Passover dishes, and you have to have dairy dishes, and you have to have this dishes, and you have to have this color and that color. You have all the utensils that match all the dishes, right? Which we've heard of. So where did that come from? It doesn't say any of that here. Yes, eventually there's parve cheese, right? Eventually there's parve cheese. Eventually there's kosher turkey bacon, right? Because now you can do, eventually there are bacos that you can sprinkle on your salad, which I always wonder about, because bacos are, if you look at the container, they're OU dairy. Yeah, that's the face I always make when I walk by bacos too. I'm like, what? They're dairy and they're bacos and they're what? I don't know. And they come from the kosher pig, the dairy kosher pig farm. I love that place. It's a great place. You've been there. You know what? Wilbur runs it. So thanks. I'll be here all week. So thank you. Oh, Wilbur, thank you. Thank you. He's a great pig. Yes.
To follow up a little on Bob's point, that it's very likely that this was a reaction to what the other nations were doing around us, and so it's a way to keep us separate. But if you fast forward all these years, is that a way now that's keeping us separate that could, if that was removed, or it's like the idea of separateness from people who are different from you is concerning to me.
Yeah.
The bleeding part that I am.
Yes, of course. So now let's thank you for that beautiful segue. Now let's play on Am Skula. Right? So now let's play in, why is Am Skula 2 verses before the fact that we find some further separateness? We are a special nation. We are a separate nation. We are a precious nation. We are chosen. So now we're chosen to do this. Now where does chosenness bring us? Does it bring us into a world where we're consistently being separated and separate and we separate ourselves? Or is it good? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It's certainly, because it's all in the same spot. There's a reason why it's in the same spot. It's not a coincidence that Am Skula is 3 verses prior to the reminder of the levels of the basis of kashrut, right? There's a reason for that. So, yeah, someone's going to say something. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
When I go out to lunch with other Jewish people and they order these things, I feel, and they know I won't eat it, I feel separate from them. And
Because they're ordering something that makes you uncomfortable? Oh.
because they know that I don't eat it
Yeah.
and I'm different.
Yeah. So it's and this creates this sort of interesting nuance on kosher and unkosher and how we interact with kosher foods. Ian. Hi, Ian. Shabbat shalom. All right.
That brings it interesting to me, like the idea of nuance, because as I read it, there doesn't seem to be any nuance in any of this. It seems to be pretty, direct. So how does like even like the reform movement get around this?
Yeah. Well, how does the reform movement get around this?
It doesn't seem like there is any caveat to get around.
There isn't. There isn't. This is why one of the first questions someone who's a little more traditional asks you if they interact with you or talk to you is, do you keep kosher? Right? Do you keep Shabbat? Do you keep kosher? Those are the two major like separators, if you will, of dialogue, which are as good or bad, which we can discuss at some point. Is right. There's no black and white. No, this isn't. God isn't saying in this section like, if you choose to, if you decide Tuesday, you'll skip this, right? No one's saying that. It doesn't say that in here. You're right. It's black and white. It says this is what you're going to eat, and you're not going to eat the other things. Marcia, that was the bird. That really got nervous about the kashrut because we don't want to. No one's eating the bird. We don't eat owls. You're fine. It's okay. Yeah, the whole next section are the birds. Don't worry, we're not eating it. And there's nothing in here that says parrots, so we're fine. I don't think parrots on the list. So although we
God is an identity
oh yeah, right,
that
exactly.
we have as a mother, and that's just the way it appears to me. It's this is who you are, and this is what you do, and you're not just part of a mob.
Right. Well, look, I think the quick response is that the reform movement is non-halachic, right? We don't follow halakha in the reform movement, and we are based on informed choice, right? So that's how the movement is. That's how the movement is based. So the best part for me about informed choice is the word informed. So informed is I've read this, I understand it, it makes sense. But my choice living in 2022 is I'm going to deviate from this that brings me the comfort level that I'm okay with, even though I understand. I much would prefer someone to say, I've read this and know it, and I make the choice as opposed to, I don't care, whatever, I'm reformed, bring on the cheeseburger, right? So
doesn't that, I guess it seems a little convenient that you could pick and choose whatever you want.
well, that's where we are. Yes, Rabbi.
I'm just gonna,
Go ahead.
if I can,
Go ahead, Rabbi.
The reform perspective is that there's two different types of categories of laws, and the ones between you and your fellow man, you're still required to keep uniform Judaism. Like you can't steal, you can't kill, you can't, But the ones between you and God, which are supposed to enhance your spirituality, I was always taught those are the ones that you have informed choice over, because it's whether or not it actually enhances your spirituality or not.
Thanks, Rabbi. That's very nice. So, yeah, you should do this for a living. That was very good. So, right. So it's the answer is it's convenience, right? Because we are looking at it in a different perspective and a different light. This text says you have to follow a certain pattern, but there are other pieces that we don't necessarily follow in a way that brings us comfort, like Shabbat. Because I think we're fully celebrating Shabbat in this moment, but someone who's a little more traditional would think that we are not, because we got in vehicles today, we drove, we turned the lights on, I turned on a lot of electricity, including iPads and computers and whatever for us to get here. So, but that doesn't take away from my Shabbat, from what I believe is my Shabbat. But which fits perfectly into the God versus man space, and this is it's a God thing, and so I can have the dialogue with God about this. So, yes.
I was gonna say, I think the end of that sentence, these are the things you should do to have this relationship with God. Like,
Yeah.
that's the end of the sentence. And then, right, like, cheeseburger is hurting me, it's not hurting my fellow man. So
Yeah.
that gives the relationship.
Unless it's a really good cheeseburger, and then I'm really upset about it. And then you're just hurting everyone, but I'm just kidding. No, yes. So, which I haven't had in a long time, so I don't even know what they are. I haven't had cheeseburger. Yes.
If you were to be in a restaurant and there were other Jewish people there and you had an Impossible Burger with cheese,
Yes.
for me, that would be okay, but you might, maybe some people not know.
Ah.
Not know that it's so it's the appearance.
Yes. So first of all, thank you. I love Impossible. So I eat Impossible all the time. So thank you very much. Sometimes, yes, because I love Impossible Burgers. Thank you. I don't work for them, but I wish I did because they're delicious. But that goes into a whole other conversation about about Marat Ayin, right? This idea of this is also why that you're supposed to be careful on what you do in certain situations because it's going to presume that you're engaging, right? If there's smoke, right, then there's fire, and so there's that dangerous path to go down if, right, again, if I'm not in a kosher restaurant. Now, this would solve it if I was in a kosher restaurant, because now I'm okay. But if the rabbi or the cantor or anyone Jewish that you know is in the unkosher restaurant and they're taking a bite of what looks like a cheeseburger, or by the way, this is where chicken gets in the way also, because it looks like if you can't tell, right? I got the two pieces of the bun, I got the thing in the middle, whatever that thing is in the middle, along with the lettuce, tomato, and I take a bite into it, and you walk by and there's cheese hanging off the side, then you're like, whoa, wait a second. Oh, look at that. What's going on? So that could have been a veggie burger. There could have been nothing in there. There could have been chicken in there. There could have been beef in there. There could have been pork in there. It could be anything in there, but you don't know. And so this is why there are fences around the Torah for us to distance ourselves further and further away so that I don't have to worry about this and neither do you, which is why you're supposed to, quote unquote, eat kosher and keep Shabbat. That way we're not going to have to worry about it because I'm not going to worry. But we don't operate in that world, and so we have to be able to have this kind of dialogue and live in the gray, which is complicated because this is not gray. This is black and white. And we have about 3 minutes. Yes? When you don't eat them? Oh, okay. Well, okay. Have them come to Torah study. Yeah.
When I'm in the same situation, I just feel it enhances my Jewishness. I don't think my not eating swine has anything to do with somebody else choosing to eat it. And I get an obligation unless I'm not friendly with
I like even Harry's not here, and we're talking about Harry. Well, I did. It's okay. I mentioned it for you. Yeah, Harry. Just yeah.
So for me, it's for me.
Yeah.
For me to demonstrate something to somebody else.
Exactly. And by the way, I will eat in any restaurant, and I will follow my level of kashrut, which is just so you know, I only eat kosher meat. So even if I go to a restaurant, I am never going to be eating meat, no matter what. No chicken, no meat. That's just my choice. Now, I have colleagues here, and we have colleagues all over the world who have different views of how this works, and everyone's going to do it differently. Yes? How many Reformed Jews in general are there? Oh, gosh, I don't know. How many Reformed Jews are there? 11? I don't know. Well, there are only 15 million Jews, period. So in the world. So there are only, that's a very low number. There are only 15 million Jews on the whole planet. So there are only 15 million Jews on the whole planet. 15. There are only 15 million Jews on the whole planet, yeah. Yeah, there are only 50 million Jews on the whole planet. Half of them are in the United States and half of them are in Israel. That's it, really, essentially. I'm serious. That's what the numbers are. The rest of the percentages are broken up in everywhere else in the world. That's essentially the number. 97% of the world's Jews live in Israel, New York, or something. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, in California. California, yeah. Well, and there are. I mean, within Judaism, there are different sects. I think the Reform movement is the largest, though, in the United States. So the largest number of Jews the largest number of Jews in the United States are Reform. So, which is true. Right, yeah. Yeah. It's true. I love that. I love that. I love that. Which is beautiful and also complicated. But that allows us to be the community that we are and to have the dialogue. And by the way, also to create a space where everyone is comfortable enough to be able to interact and eat and to do all these things, which is why when CBI does something officially as CBI, we try and do something either kosher or dairy, because that allows a safe space for people to feel comfortable to be able to eat and interact here. So yes, Gail, Susie, and then we gotta go. Yeah.
I'll be quick. I just want to say that I feel like this whole thing breeds intolerance, Jews against other Jews. Think how Marsha feels, and then think about children during Passover bringing matzah to school and their other Jewish friends are making fun of them.
Yeah, look, I do think that, again, just like the Torah portion started about this beautiful concept of Am Skula, that we are a special group of people, that the sort of treasuredness or the idea of chosenness, right, is complicated because it does create a separation. It does. Fortunately, unfortunately, it does create a separation. How we treat that separation, I think, is what defines who we are. Because I think that there are parts of Orthodoxy that will seek to divide us further, and yet there are lots of aspects, I think, of the Reform movement that try to do the opposite, to try and bring us closer. So it's different. That's the problem. So, good chat, everyone. Yes. Oh, Susie, last comment.
I heard something recently very surprising from my brother-in-law who was brought up Orthodox. I guess he's conservative now. But he went out to eat and he had chicken parmesan, and I thought, that's not like you. And he said, well, the chicken doesn't nurse
The chicken doesn't fall from the tree.
No.
Exactly. I know what you mean. I know. I understand. Yes. So there is a dialogue about the complication regarding the milk and the chicken, because there's no connection. But according to kashrut, chicken is meat. So according to the law of kashrut, there's a dialogue about it in lots of Jewish texts, and ultimately all Jewish texts in all of the dialogues end with saying chicken is considered meat. For the sake of the dialogue. So traditionally, you can't put the chicken on the meat. There is one dissenting vote. He's a loud vote, and he causes a lot of ruckus, but he's still the dissenting vote. And when the rabbis argue, he loses in the argument, and because of that, the Jewish law goes with that. It's that, yeah. Genosar, what's his name? Genosar Galil. His name is Rabbi Galil. So yes, I think is the one with he's very loud about arguing about it. Yes. Yes, yes, that's part of the dialogue. Yeah, that's part of the argument. Amy, yes, for sure.
If as I learned, a lot of the kosher eating is based on good health.
Yeah.
And putting into our bodies the proper things that will nourish us. So if I'm Shabbat, if we're treasured people, and God decreed all these things we could or couldn't eat, then it stands to reason that He wants this temple of our spirit to be pure and to be healthy. So
That's beautiful. No, it's delicious, though. It's delicious. And what you said was beautiful, and I know it's true because Neil sneezed right as you were saying it. So it was bless you, and that all worked perfectly together. So everyone, when Shabbat is over, please enjoy your Impossible burger, and put anything you want on it because it's fine, and it's kosher. So Impossible burgers are also kosher. So they actually are hechshered kosher. So. Oh, see, I actually like the other one better. I actually like the Impossible burger than the Gardein burger, but I have the Gardein burgers too. I've had all those. My house is vegetarian anyway. So, all right, friends, we're going to take a moment and think of those in our community who are in need of healing, a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. If there's someone that you're thinking of and want to share their name, please share their name at this time.
Stuart Furman, Lawrence May, Ken and Sandy Tankus, Gail Gibson, all those affected by the war in Ukraine, other wars and violence and hate crimes.
Irma Jacob Vera Cruz.
Broad family, Stuart Sherman, Eddie Hanson.
משבח אבותינו ואמותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, חל ולאה, הוא ברך את החולים. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלימם, לפותם, להחזיקם, וישלח להם רפואה שלמה מנשמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתה בגלה וזמן קרביב, ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health be restored and their strength be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we say, Amen. Don't forget to join us, please. Tomorrow is our back to shul, starting at 10:30 till 1 p.m. Food trucks. We have like 7 food trucks and music and all kinds of activities.
And Rabbi Keller's going to juggle, and he's also going to slide down the slide, and he's going to go. Yeah, he's doing it all. We spoke about it already.
Cantor Mushing is doing all those things.
No.
Right. No. So that's all happening tomorrow. And yes, join us also because Sisterhood is having a huge sale for high holiday stuff. So if you're looking for honey dishes or any other gifts you'd like to buy for the clergy, for the high holidays, Rabbi Khan is looking to enhance her office. She's putting together her office, so feel free to buy her anything beautiful stuff for her office if you'd like. Cantor Munch is looking for some nice stuff for enhance his juggling career. So anything else, please. Yes. Yes.
Is it possible at some point that we're going to continue or to once again have Kiddush? Because like extending the conversation about body piercing and tattoos and stuff, that'd be stuff we could mull about at Kiddush. Is that going to happen?
What do you mean? Like more food after? Yeah. I think there's food today. I think there's actual food out here today, like actual food, and under the tent for everyone. I think there's like an actual thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure because since we came back today and we started back, I'm pretty sure that the summer like food is over, and I'm pretty sure there's food out there. I'm pretty sure. So yes, and I think you can sit under the tent with tables and schmooze, and I think there's food that. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So yes. All right, we're going to begin to conclude our service. Aleinu and Kaddish. Aleinu can be found 282. 282. We continue with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Thanks. We transition our thoughts now to Kaddish Tom, to Mourner's Kaddish. We think of those in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period. We think of Robert Rosen and Erwin Diamond, Florine Sprung, and our yortzites that occur for us on the Shabbats, Richard Blyer, Bertha Cohen, Enid Demendoya, Eileen Firsty, Geraldine Gershon, Saul Herschel, Abraham Canterman, Mary Missel, Thomas Perigo, Lillian Rackow, Esther Shaw, Francis Shore, Francis Stern, Hyman Stern, Ida Weiner, Joyce Weissman, Jessica Wolfman. To those names we add any name that you like to add at this time. Kaddish Tom 294. Yitgadal v'ikadash me'rabah, v'almad yivrach cheruteh, v'amlich malchuteh, v'chay echon v'yom echon, v'chay d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach la'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei l'kudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. היי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say amen. Please be seated. We conclude on this Shabbat with Ein Keloheinu 322.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Chadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Adonai Oz La'amo Yiten, Adonai Varech et Amo V'Shalom. May God give strength unto our people, continue to bless us with love and hope and peace. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.